Hi everyone, my name is Bram Legru. I'm the Belgium-born psychologist who turned Aussie entrepreneur and business development coach. And in today's video, I want to share with you guys 8 specific steps that I want you guys to really be familiar with first of all, but also where you look for ways to actually do better in those areas, because in this day and age, the way that people buy products and services has dramatically changed. And I want you guys to be ready for that, because as we all know, the chain is always as strong as its weakest link. And if any of these 8 particular parts in the chain are deficient or are under-delivering in terms of service and meeting expectations and going above and beyond, you will be basically shooting yourself in the foot and somebody else will get the business instead. So what are those 8 particular parts in the chain that you and I want to be on top of? First of all, it is planning. Let's be honest, there is only 1,800 hours a year that you and I have to invest strategically in your business. And that is if you want to have a life outside of work too. Yeah, you can always, of course, put a clock in more time. You can work harder. You can, skip on weekends. You can, skip on time with your family and looking after your health and all that sort of stuff and put it into your business. But guess what? That's not a sustainable recipe for success. In fact, it's actually detrimental sooner or later for your life. So don't do that. Be smart. Take a specific block of time that you strategically invest in your business, and therefore think before you act is one of the best things I can share with you. Every time when I sit down in our boardroom or our meeting room with a client and I take them through, what they're doing in terms of time management, or even when I present to whole groups and teams, it's really typical that time management wise, people are really wasting precious time. Why? Because they don't know any better. They just do what comes naturally to them, and that's all good and well and true if you already got great habits developed that makes you really prioritize the right things above the wrong things, and where you always make time for the stuff that really is of high value, therefore that you procrastinate on the stuff that is of least value. Then it's all good. But most people don't know how to prioritize their time, and therefore they just do stuff that sometimes is easy and not necessary over the stuff that is actually of high value. Don't get caught up there. Make sure that you plan your time, that you create a schedule, and that schedule is designed to help you perform at your very best. That's number 1. 2 then is prospecting. Prospecting is the fine art of spending more time with great people. From a business perspective, you gotta spend the time with the right people, as in people that are in the market to buy your products and services. People also that can afford your product and services. And 3, people that also you can easily service and look after and wow them with your service and product offering, so that you can easily keep doing business with them and the people in their network. And once again, you got to think a little bit about that. You can't just, let's say, rock up at networking functions and expect that is going to help you. Prospecting is about working smart, spending more time with the right people, and this day and age also leveraging technology, because it's very easy to get caught out, especially if you've been doing business development for multiple years and even decades. You will already have developed a certain habit pattern, and it's all great if that used to work in the past, but this day and age, there's so much technology that you and I can leverage so that you can again work smarter, better, faster, more automated, reach out to more people, and use certain systems and processes that help you to reinforce your message, get it out to more people, and also create more influx of inquiries and demand. And again, that is really a crucial part to get right this day. Number 3 then is connecting. As a psychologist, I've obviously learned how to relate to people and read people and relate to them in their own way. And I think that too often people in sales and business development, they will go in with it one typical approach. Now, whether that methodology is straight line selling or, any other sales technique that you might come across, typically it is one way. And let's be honest, There's multiple people out there, personalities, and so on and so forth. And if you really start, let's say, kind of segmenting in and start really putting yourself in the shoe of your potential clients and buyers, you and I know that there's differences out there, and unless you cater for those differences, you're not going to connect. In fact, you're going to disenfranchise people. You're going to make people feel uncomfortable in opening up to you and relating to you, let alone doing business with you, because you cannot treat everybody the same way. And that is exactly what we also teach our clients in multiple programs of ours, so that they actually cater for the clients and the buyers. Whether they're one person or a group of people, let's say a board, for example, or a whole executive team, you want to make sure that you do right by each one in their own way, rather than your own way. Number 4 then is assessing. Assessing is your fine art and your skill to ask really thought-provoking and probing questions that draws out a world of information out of your clients and your prospects, so that you can get to see a whole new picture, and simultaneously your buyer and your client is going through a wow experience that makes them see a different side to their business and what they're looking for. And if you do this really well, which very few people do without proper training and coaching, if you do this well, that almost guaranteed sets you up for a sale later on. Do the assessing really well. Once again, you do it in 4 different ways, not just one. And if you do this well, you are setting yourself up for success down the track, rather than putting a lot of time and effort into something to only fail at the last minute, which I see so many people without the proper training and coaching happen to do. They blow through a lot of time, they write tenders, they put whole teams on it, then they take it out, and then they get a no back from someone else, which was perfectly predictable. Because you got to know what to do and what not to do to maximize your conversion opportunities. Number 5 then is about solving. Solving means that you can basically present value that the client recognizes as such, and that they fall in love with. And notice what I said. They fall in love with your solution. Do you think that that's easy to do? Probably not. Too often we go into what we call selling features and widgets, and that is not really great selling. You don't create buy-in that way. You don't get people excited that way. You might also sell potentially on discounts and all that sort of stuff. That ain't really driving value. What really drives value in the head and the heart of a buyer is something that speaks to them, that relates to them, that they find themselves back into, that they recognize themselves in, and where they really emotionally feel a certain way. Once again, there's process to do that. There's finesse to do that. And without the proper training and coaching, you can easily burn through precious time and not convert the opportunity, whilst you could have done it if you got it right the first time around. So make sure that you solve in ways that helps people fall in love with your solution, long before they start liking your pricing and terms and conditions. Notice the difference. It starts here and it only gets cemented in over here afterwards. Number 6 is confirming. Once you have presented and demonstrated value, then you want to make sure that people actually confirm that what you've presented to them is right for them. Notice what I said, right for them, not just a nice thing to have. So it's about making people again feel comfortable along the process without being a pest, without people feeling that they're getting pressured into a decision and all this sort of stuff. It's again very subtle, it's very emotionally savvy and psychologically attuned. Number 7, assuring. It's about helping your client to get a smooth transition from the point of making a commitment and investing in your solution over to, the first few days and weeks where they're starting to it. Money has already changed hands, and this is a very crucial time where very often business development managers, even business owners or advisors basically handball it across to somebody else, and then they kind of think that now it's in the hands of whoever else is implementing the solution. Not a good time to just walk away. This is a crucial time when you want to hold the hand of your buyer. Now they're a client, and where you want to guide them and make them feel comfortable now that they have come on board, and reinforce that they made a smart decision by coming on board with you. By doing that, you not only make them feel comfortable, but you actually are also setting yourself up for more business down the track, which is now also bringing us to the last point, which is number 8, growing. Most of the time when I ask people what their marketing plan looks like and how they actually anticipate in growing, there's either 2 answers that I hear that are very frequently. One is, let me just buy another business to grow strategically. Buy a client book, buy a rent roll, that sort of stuff. That's one way of growing, yes? Then there's the other traditional one that says, referrals. We typically work on referrals. And guess what? Those are just 2 things out of 7 ways to grow your business strategically. And if you really want to work smart rather than hard, you want to at least add 5 more into your business, incorporate it in there, so that you really grow more exponentially rather than linearly. Some people just go with what I call boring, flat growth, or even go back because they don't have a system developed to create more business and almost turn it on demand. And that is really what the other 5 are about. These are all just some ideas that I wanted to share with you to get on top of. And if you'd like to hear more about it, make sure that you check out Business Development Academy 2.0, because I'll share an opportunity with you later on. For now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know your comments below this video, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. My name is Bram.